Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. In this video I have this differential equation that I want us to go through. It looks very similar to the one I went through last time. Of course I'm still preparing work on introduction to differential equations, but I felt we should go through this because this looks very similar to the one I worked on last time. If you haven't watched that video, please do so, it will help you quite a lot. Now how do we approach this? Well, we are supposed to solve for y, and the idea is to make sure that x stays with dx and y stays with dy. In this equation here, it's very difficult to achieve that, and therefore we have to apply another technique. Now the technique we're going to apply here is the following. So let's just capture the equation. Firstly, we have dy dx is equal to x plus y, and the approach, like I said, is to let me call this equation 1, and I'm going to let x plus y be equal to some variable a. Remember, both x and y are variables, and I'm going to call this equation number 2. Now in this equation I'll make y subject to formula, so that means y will be equal to a minus x, and next I have to differentiate both sides with respect to x. So basically we're saying therefore dy dx will be equal to derivative with respect to x of the whole right hand side, which is a minus x. And what do we get on the right hand side? Well, if I move back a little bit, we get dA dx minus derivative with respect to x, obviously, of x. Remember, we have derivative with respect to x of a minus derivative with respect to x of x. Now this stays the way it is. Don't forget we have dy dx here being equal to this, and this is equal to dy dx is equal to dA dx minus, obviously, as you can see, 1. Derivative of x with respect to x is 1. Let's call this equation number 3. And what we're going to do now is to substitute equation number 1 and number 2 and number 3 into equation number 1. So basically, where there is a dy dx, I must have it replaced by dA dx minus 1. And where there is x plus y, I must have a there. So this equation therefore changes as follows. So if you like, we can say substitute equation number 2 and equation number 3 into equation number 1 to get, let's move to page 2. What do we get when we do that? Remember, I want to emphasize here, this expression here should replace that one in our equation 1. And on the right hand side, x plus y, I'm going to have a there as follows. So what we're saying now is on page 2, let me move this one down. Basically what I'm saying now is that equation will be replaced by, remember, if you allow me to capture the equation again, dy dx, that's equation 1, is equal to x plus y. What is this expression equal to? As you can see here, it's equal to dA dx minus 1. So this is dA, this implies dA dx minus 1 on the left hand side. On the right hand side, this expression here should be placed by a. Remember, x plus y equals a. So I'm going to have a there, a, like so. And adding 1 on both sides, you agree with me that we have dA dx is equal to a plus 1. Fantastic. Now I'm going to have to multiply by dx on both sides. So what do I get? I get dA is equal to, in brackets, a plus 1 dx. And remember, a plus 1 must be taken to the left hand side. In other words, dA should have a plus 1. dx will be on its own, and therefore I have to divide by a plus 1 on both sides. So what do I have on the left? I have 1 over a plus x, a plus 1 dA is equal to, on the right hand side I just have dx. Fantastic. At this point, I'm going to have to integrate on both sides. So basically, we're saying the integral of 1 over a plus 1 dA must be equal to the integral of, remember this is just 1 dx. That's what it is basically, 1 dx. Or dx is just the same as 1 dx. What do we do next? Evaluate the two integrals. On the left hand side, you agree with me that it's just the natural log of a plus 1. On the right hand side, obviously, you have x, and we have to say plus c. Let me call it c1. You will see why I'm calling it c1 shortly. Now, what do we do next? Well, we're supposed to solve for a, and I'm taking this to page 3, so you should see what we're going to do next. Let me arrange these papers in order. Right now, on page 3, we are saying basically going back to the definition of the natural log. What is the definition of the natural log? Well, it is log to base e. So this natural log of a plus 1 is log to base e, obviously, of a plus 1. And this is equal to x plus c1. And the way that we get rid of the log is to keep this number the way it is, where it is a plus 1. And on the right hand side, this one now must be here, and that whole expression becomes the exponent. That's how you get rid of the log, if you remember from your high school mathematics. Now at this point, I'm going to have to break down the right hand side. So what we have now is a plus 1 is equal to, this is e to the power x times e to the power c1. See why I called it c1? Now I'm going to let e to the power c1 be equal to c. So how does this equation change then? This equation changes to a plus 1 is equal to e to the power x times c. And so it means that a is equal to basically c e to the power x minus 1. Fantastic. If you can see that this multiplying, you get this, and take 1 to the other side or subtract 1 from both sides, this is what you get. Now at this point, I'm going to have to get rid of a. What is a? We're moving back to equation number 2, and that is on page 1. If you remember, equation number 2, it says where I have a, I must put x plus y. So I'm saying therefore on the left hand side I have x plus y, and this is equal to c e to the power x minus 1. Remember, the idea is to solve for y. Like I said, it implies y is equal to c e power x minus 1. So this is the general solution to our differential equation in this video. If you go through the theory on differential equations, of course, like I promised, come back with another video on introduction to differential equations. We have the idea of integration by parts and using the what we call the integrating factor. A very long process, but look at how this is done in this approach. Very simple and straightforward. Like I've said in the previous video, most likely these questions are anywhere around 8 to 10 marks each in your calculus 2 or calculus, mainly calculus 2 exams. So I hope you found this useful. Which approach would you have taken to arrive at this solution? I'm interested to hear from you. And this is the equation we've been dealing with. Very similar to the previous one. And I'm going to stop here. Your feedback remains very critical. All right, I'll see you in the next one.